How are you, my bro?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Out there in France, man, connecting the dots today with O-BLEAK in the building.
I'ma keep doing what I'm doing. Only smoking fat splits, ripping a headbang like Cliff. Shred a BC Rich. Using bullets couldn't keep up with the chords that I rip. So I'm combining two genres just to rock you like a corpse dead stiff. Your opinion couldn't be less of a disturbance. I've got my pen on sheet.
How's it out in France right now?
It's pretty good, man. It was raining like crazy last week. It's getting a little better, but.
And I feel that fall weather.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. And happy birthday to you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just feeling old.
Yeah, man. Gotta enjoy the day, man. Like you're supposed to. You feel me?
Smoke a bunch of weed and just chill out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And man, it's the Mixtape Addict show, so I have a tradition. I have to ask you, who is your all-time favorite DJ?
All-time favorite DJ. I'm gonna have to say DJ 7L.
Okay.
That album, Dangerous Connections with so it's 7L and Esoteric.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that album. I've listened to that album over and over and over again. And just the cuts on that and just everything about that. So I think because of that album and hearing it as young as I did, when I hear his cuts, I'm just like, oh shit, that's it's something different.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I was talking to Mr. Hyde about this, and there's so many talented DJs, and I'd like to work with a lot of them actually. But DJ that I've worked with a lot is Tone Spliff, and he's fantastic, really nice dude, super talented, been on a bunch of my songs, and yeah, in Tone we trust. So I've been rocking with him personally.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot of, scratch hooks, man, for many, many years. I hear them all the time, so it's good to see you guys collaborating together, man.
Really great dude. Yeah, I'm glad that I got linked up with him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You say you were listening to 7L and Esoteric when you were young, and yeah, how young were you, and when did you start, taking this music shit seriously, man?
Oh, definitely. Well, I was introduced to hip hop, I should say, by my cousin Gary, and I was probably like 10, 12 years old. Like MF Doom, because back in the day, MF Doom, he was doing music for Aqua Teen Hunger Force and stuff. So I kind of got introduced with the cartoons and stuff, and it kind of made it personable for a kid. And he showed me Sean Price, and I think I was 14, Alpha Omega, like Pyrex and shit like that. So got introduced to him. But yeah, I was probably like 14 years old when I was like, yo, I love hip hop. Like, this is really something different. And it's funny too, I was talking to somebody about it. But when I was around my cousin, he wouldn't quiz me on like the normal stuff you'd quiz a child on. He'd be like, what are the elements of hip hop? Like shit like that, like quizzing me on the things that really matter.
Okay, that's dope, man. That's dope. That's your cousin that asked you that?
Yeah, so I was born really late into my family, so all my cousins are kind of older, and my cousin Gary, he kind of grew up late 80s in the 90s and shit, so he's the one that really got me into hip hop, and I just feel like I've always been around older people my whole life, so I was just introduced to this culture that I probably wouldn't have been if I had like siblings or something like that. So I'm glad that everything worked out the way that it did, to be honest with you.
That's dope, man. That's dope to be surrounded. It's kind of like me, kind of like the same story. I got like an older brother, and my cousins too. They were older than me. That's how I was introduced to the true elements of hip hop. And a lot of people that are probably the same age as we are didn't get the chance to be introduced to those type of things, man. So that's a blessing.
Very true. Yeah, and I'm grateful for that too, because it's just one of those things where I could ask somebody within my generation, our generation, and they just might not know. So
yeah, man.
Cool to be a part of that.
For sure, man. And how would you describe the sound of O-BLEAK to the people that don't know you yet?
The way that I like to describe this and what I want to portray is like if you took hip hop and combined it with like a black and white horror movie. Like there's people that do horrorcore, you know, the violent stuff, all this. And I was like, what can I do to kind of make my sound different and also just incorporate all the things I love? And I know there's a lot of people that are fans of that, like the old horror, and I love new horror, like the slasher stuff, but I really wanted it to be a little bit different, even within the samples, because originally I was kind of producing myself. Okay. So all the samples I was chopping, I tried to get like imagine like the old Wolfman movie, something like that. It was all like spooky orchestral work, like horns and stuff like that. So I kind of try to make if it's an album or even just a single, I want to give the listener an experience. Like you kind of turned on that movie and I want you to get the same feelings that you got if you were to watch that.
That's dope. Yeah, I hear the horrorcore style in your music, man. That's really good also to see you linking up with guys like Necro and Johnny Slash. They're in the same type of vibes, man. So that gives more energy and put people really into the depth of the concept of your music, man. That's real dope.
Oh, it's very true. Actually, you know, shout out to Necro, Hyde, PLR, and all of them. Really nice dudes, and it's been really, really dope to be able to work with those guys because I grew up listening to them as well. Like when I was like 15, 16, listening to Necro and Hyde. So to be here today to work with them and stuff, it's surreal. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, man. And it's a perfect combination, you know, to hear you with those guys. You're on the same page, like we say.
And with that being said, you know, I come from a background of metal music as well. And I think that's why that was also easier to make that connection, because you said like some metal hip hop and chopping it up with Necro and stuff. Huge into metal. And so I think that connection was made, and that was really dope too. Because I've been able to take metal and some of the things I've done in metal bands and like the vocals and even me playing guitar, like for songs, just like bass now for hip hop songs. If I wouldn't have played the metal guitar when I was younger, probably wouldn't be playing the bass right now. But so it's been dope to incorporate that whole genre of music into this. And I've always found similarities between metal music and hip hop. And you could talk to a lot of people too. And everybody I talk to, they like hip hop, they like metal, thrash metal, and stuff like that. So I feel like there's a marriage between the two genres, somewhat.
Yeah, of course, because it's you know, it comes from punk music too. Like, it's music that's against society.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree. Punk music is very underrated and another genre I really love. And actually, it's funny you mentioned that because there really are so many aspects of punk music in O-BLEAK too. Just I think it was Kerry King from Slayer, and he was in an interview and he was saying, you know, the music's kind of shock factor. It's kind of the opposite of what a normal person's going to see. Like you're going to wake up and you're going to have your daily sitcoms, you know, and your talk show or whatever. You're not going to see this or my music, what I'm talking about though. So I think it's kind of like shock factor in a way too. So it's kind of that whole aspect that kind of draws people in, or can.
Yep. And it's good because it can bring people from different type of backgrounds, you know, to listen to your music. Like you say, you can be a metalhead, you can like punk music, you can like hip hop, new school, old school, don't matter. You know, you got that particular sound that make people go crazy, you know, when you like this stuff.
I've noticed that actually. So, you know, metalheads tapping in and saying, hey, this is really dope. Or even like when I've been into a record store and like drop off some of my 45s and stuff, I've had some like, and these are younger kids too. And they're looking at the records and they're like, wow, this looks like a metal cover. And I'm like, but wait until you listen to it.
Yep.
And I think that's the dope part too. And I think going along with how you can tie in these different genres, like different art forms, like a metal cover, an art cover you'd normally see for an album that's metal. And I take that and throw it on this and just kind of flip everything up too. And I feel like that's kind of unique too within the art, because you don't see that often.
Yep. It's real good because it's a thing that's really hard to do is finding your own identity as a rapper, as a musician. I think you figured out, how to present that to the people by just being true to yourself. Like you grew up, like you told me, listening to metal, hip hop, punk, and that made the man that you are right now. So you're keeping it true to yourself, man.
That's true, yeah. And I feel like, just being yourself, that's why I love hip hop so much too, because every time I've been in other projects with a lot of genres, you're kind of like in the box. Like you can't really think outside the box. So with hip hop, I could have a song about this, I could have a song about that. I could do really anything, and it's all gonna be me, and it's gonna be my style. But I feel like I could actually have a voice, like being the vocalist of a metal band. It's kind of like there's a number of things that I can talk about, but it's going to be a smaller outlet.
Yep.
So I feel like, yeah, that's definitely a very true thing. And I would tell that to anybody else too, especially if you're trying to find your unique sound as an MC or just even like a producer and stuff. Just, really kind of like be introspective and kind of like look at what are the roots of what make you you. And I would take those elements and incorporate them into your music, because people will notice when you're more authentic, and I think grasp onto it too.
Of course, man. It's really important to have your own identity and, knowing who you are as a musician, as a man, knowing your taste, what made you, just like you said, and keeping it real, because people can see if it's fake or not. You know what I'm saying?
That's very true.
Yeah, man. And I was thinking about something. You mentioned playing guitar. So when can we expect you like doing a solo or riffs on a track, or your own track? That'd be dope, man.
So I would like to do that soon. I want to start doing something where I orchestrate, write, and then if I don't play an instrument myself, pay like a session drummer, like a metal drummer. I think it'd be cool to take a complete metal track and MC on it, possibly do some vocals like that. And I think it's been dope too, because I was never really able to incorporate a lot of like street elements and a lot of things I kind of want to talk about, even from my past and things I've experienced. I feel like within hip hop, a lot of the themes or things I could talk about, I could kind of talk about more of my experiences as well. Within metal, it's kind of like I'm writing sci-fi stories or something like that. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different. And then punk is like, fuck the establishment, the government, stuff like that. So you can kind of incorporate that into metal, but I like that you can incorporate that into hip hop as well. So that's dope.
Yeah, man, that's dope, man. And you were talking about like the horror movies and all that. Like, if you could score a movie, get an original soundtrack with one of your songs, like what movie would you choose, man?
Oh man. I think my all-time favorite horror movie is probably Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. And I think I like some of those quirky samples too, where it's like I was saying before, orchestral samples, but sometimes I like when it's kind of quirky, almost like old Looney Tune shit, or like it sounds evil, but it's got like this Scooby-Doo thing to it. And you can make it funky. And I think that's dope, because then I can kind of make a bouncy hip hop song. And it might be a little bit faster, like 90 BPM or something like that.
Yes, sir. That's the power of hip hop, man, is being able to take any type of old record, spooky stuff, scary music, add the drums on it, add the bass, make it funky. That's really unique to hip hop, man. You don't see that in many music genres,
Oh yeah, no, I agree. And lately I just been digging and just finding weird stuff, like you're saying, like it could be anything. I just found like All in the Family theme song, like X-Files and stuff. I don't know how you are with digging, but I'm like constantly out there just like looking for weird little spots to find some stuff.
Oh yeah, man. It's in everything. Like I can watch a movie, documentary, anything. Sometimes just a little, like 2 seconds of something that I hear on TV. I put my phone, use Shazam on it, find the record, download it, and work with it.
Hell yeah. I actually, I just did that myself. I was listening to Joe Lovano It's called Scandal. It's one of his saxophone quartets, and this is like just soft jazz, soft horn jazz. But I'm listening to this song, Scandal, and I'm like, whoa, I could like speed this up, and this could be something. So I'm like in my car, and I'm just pressing rewind so I can keep listening to that part and like try to loop it in the car. But yeah.
Yeah, but that's that producer mindset, man. You know,
I agree.
Loop it again. Then you start to imagine the beat in your head already. You know, you already know how to chop everything up. So you can.
And you know what? It's already done. Then, if you can chop it up in your head, when it's done. If you can hear it, and I've said that about anything too, like if you're playing a guitar or anything, like if you're a creative mind and you can just envision it before you even create it, it's already done.
Yep. You just got to apply what you have in your head, man. And it's easy, you know?
Very true.
Yeah,
hopefully it's easy.
Yeah. And what can we expect, man, from you, like in 2025, the new year that's coming up?
Oh man, even the rest of this year. So for anybody that's a new fan or that's been a fan of me, and thank you to everybody that's followed me since the beginning and everything and just tapped in and has shown support. But I'm gonna try to drop something every month indefinitely if I can, as long as I can. So anybody should expect me to just keep dropping content every month, a new single. But this next month, I'm trying to figure out a specific date, but at the end of this next month, I'm dropping an album.
Nice.
So at the end of October here, I'll have 9 songs out. And I've been kind of teasing it too with these singles and the videos, but then I'm going to drop the main event and keep it going, because I've got group albums. I've got multiple albums right now that are like finished.
Okay.
So I've been, like 3 or 4 albums behind.
Dope.
So I've got a lot of dope stuff with a lot of people. I've got an album coming with a good friend of mine that passed away, Outcast God Lord L.
Okay.
And Jay Vengeance, another really good buddy of mine, really talented out in Arizona. Cats out in Arizona, and there's a lot of talented people out in Arizona. But I've got an album with them, and I don't want to say too much about it, but that's really special. So we're working on that.
Okay, that's dope, man. And I hope you're gonna drop something on Halloween too. That'll make sense with all your music, man.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. So I'm not gonna say anything for sure, but there might be an album coming out on Halloween.
Dope.
Definitely.
Hell yeah, that'll match the concept of your music.
I was thinking about that, and I've never been able to do that before. And just with how I drop things, I like to drop it later in the week. It seems like better. Everybody's kind of like winding down in their week, like listening to music, starting to relax and stuff. So I think Halloween's on a Thursday this year.
Okay.
And just for like insight for people that, are curious about it, but like, and anybody that is dropping music, I would drop music like towards the weekend.
Okay.
That's definitely, I think, some good advice for a younger artist. But yeah, so Halloween is on a Thursday, so I could definitely do that.
Yeah, man. Then let's do that, bro. Now, you were talking about giving advice to the upcoming MCs, man. I was about to ask you that. What are your advice right now for the young upcoming rappers that are probably listening to you, and want to follow the same path? What would you say to them?
What I would say, and just even talking to some younger cats going into record stores and younger kids, I've realized kind of like my music, like between like high school to like early 20s and stuff. And I would tell those people, go back and research some of the OGs of hip hop. Go listen to like Jungle Brothers, like old MF Doom, old Necro, nonfiction for sure, classic. I would tell them to go listen to those things and just kind of like listen to where hip hop came from and stuff, and so they can compare it to where it's gone to as well, and so they can keep a real hip hop sound going.
Yes, sir. Yeah, those groups that your name are like classic right there. I make me think of Jedi Mind Tricks too. Shout out to them, man.
Oh, definitely. Oh yeah, Jedi Mind Tricks classic. Another one of those groups that I listened to back in the day that like inspired me to do this. Blackistan is another artist I would tell younger artists and MCs if they've never heard of Blackistan, go and look him up. Listen to some of his older works, and it's just amazing. That's some of the stuff that really inspired me.
Yeah, man. And what do you see like the future of hip hop? Like a lot of people be saying like that nowadays hip hop is weird and all that, but I don't believe that because we see so many great artists dropping music. You know what I'm saying? Like I've heard some new MOP recently. I've heard some Vinny Paz. I heard some new Inspector Deck. So I don't think that's true. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that new Vinny Paz, that was really good. I was listening to that recently as well. I think that it's kind of like the same thing with metal, how we were talking about that earlier. These genres, and actually it's funny because metal and hip hop were kind of birthed around the same time. They're both around 50-something years old as far as genres go.
Yep.
But I feel like these genres are the newest genres if we think about musics, because like blues, jazz, and everything, they've been around for so long. They've had time to evolve and become what they become. But these genres were in their infancy. So I feel like now there's that experimentation phase within every genre. There's like these sub-genres and everything breaks off, it becomes fusion. There's all this. So I feel like it was always destined to be like that. You know what I'm saying? There's different types of hip hop. There's mainstream, and then there's, underground hip hop, what we make. But it's like that with metal. There's so many different genres now. And I think after all these years, the thing I've noticed is that boom bap and just actual old school hip hop, it's probably more popular than ever, like you're saying. And for a minute there, it probably wasn't, but everything that is true culture and that is the original version of that culture will always come back around.
Of course, man, because people, they hear the authenticity, they hear the realness of that music, man. And they get tired of the bullshit, so it's good.
Yep, tired of the bullshit. Yep.
Yeah, man. It's good to, have real guys that still represent for the culture, still make boom bap, man. The boom bap will never die, man. That's how it is.
Yep. Actually, it's a quote by Blackistan. Hip hop cannot be dead. This shit is my religion. Just live by that. It's like my religion. You know what I'm saying? Just, I'm not heavily religious myself, but I live for this music. I wake up and I do this, and keeps me going. And it's just great to see people react to it and grab onto it and like it like they do as well.
Yes, sir.
And I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. I'm in France, man. And when can we expect you to be out there in Europe? Like, are you planning on doing any shows or stuff like that, like in 2025 or the next year?
I would love to be doing some shows. I know for sure I'm probably going to be swinging out to Arizona, doing some stuff with that whole album that I mentioned. I live in the Chicagoland area. I don't live directly downtown. I don't live as close anymore. I moved out. It's just cheaper and for me to have the space for my studio, because I have like a full studio in my apartment, and that's where I get a lot of my stuff done. But out here in Chicagoland area, you can be expecting me to be playing a lot of shows here in the next month. I've just been kind of waiting until my album roll out. I don't want to play music that isn't really released yet for people. I kind of want to do it the right way. That, and then I would love to get out to like Florida, New York eventually, all these different places. And I think the more that I collaborate with different artists, I feel like I just have different friends in these areas, so it's easier to travel there and link up, and because you actually know people. So I feel like it just get every small step. And another thing I would say to any new artist, because I feel like I'm still a fairly new artist myself. 3-4 years ago, I didn't think I would be doing this, but every small step will open up a bigger door. You know what I mean? That's true with collaborations and traveling and even tours, or even if you just booked 2 shows and you fly to that state.
Yeah, man, you'll never know. Maybe you do 1 or 2 shows and you'll meet like very important people on that trip. You never know what can happen, man.
Oh, that's true. I mean, I've even felt that just about I make a connection. They introduce me to somebody. All of a sudden, I have a different producer, something like that. And it's been wild. I think hip hop. There's so many nice people in hip hop, and there's so many people in hip hop that actually like. There's camaraderie. There's a brotherhood. You know, like if you need like a producer or something, somebody's gonna help you out. Or like, oh, I know that guy. I've never been in a genre where people have been so nice either.
Yeah, man. It's all about networking and keeping it true to the culture, man.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
And you know what? Speaking of networking, you know, I got a few of your tracks now, so people should be expecting that we come out with an EP here eventually as well.
Yeah, man. King Flo and O-BLEAK, you know, the French connection, man. We gonna make this shit pop, bro.
That would be a cool album name right there.
Yeah. You ever seen the movie with Gene Hackman?
Oh yeah, I love that. That's a great movie.
Classic joint, man. Yeah.
All those, like all the old school movies, that's my vibe. Like not even just horror, but just like all that shit, like Goodfellas, like just old school. And I love like comedy, like Rodney Dangerfield, like dirty, like old school comedy. I love to add that shit into the hip hop, like some comedy, just make somebody laugh in a rhyme, or it was just something that sounded brutal. It's so brutal, it's funny.
Yep, that's where you get the inspiration, you know, sometimes punchlines from movies, you know. I'm a big movie head myself, you know. I went back into collecting DVDs, Blu-ray, VHS, all that shit.
VHS. I was talking to somebody recently. VHS, there's something about it. I would go and buy VHS and I'd watch it right now. Nostalgic.
Yeah, man. And the sound of it when you put the VHS into the machine, man.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing like it. Yeah, it's just old school. I don't know. You know, I feel like there's classic ways to do things. It's like records. Like, it's classic.
Yeah, my bro. Do you have any last words, man, for the people that listened to this interview until the end?
I want to say, I want to give a shout out. Actually, I want to shout out to Mr. Hyde, PLR Necro, Albert Charlemagne, and Brooklyn Dragon's Lair, my producer, and just anybody that's tapped in. I just want to say thank you. You know, this is all to me. I'm just so grateful, and it's all surreal. You know, I'm just happy to be doing this.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for having me here today.
Oh, you already know, man. You know, we connecting the dots, bro. You know, like we say, it's all about networking. And, you know, that's an open door for you right now, you know, in France and Europe, all that, man. We here. Mixtape Addict, man.
Oh, I can't wait to come to Europe.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime, man. Just let me know when you out there.
Word, hell yeah.
Yeah, we'll set up something, man. You know, make some good music, meet the right people. You know it is.
That's what's up. Link up, shake some hands.
For sure,
man.
man.
Oh yeah, brother.
All right, take care, my man. Thank you for being in the Mixtape Addict show.
Take care. Have a great day, bro.
Yeah, you too, man. Peace.